Hi everyone, I'm Alan and welcome back to the Rawlo report. So in today's video, I wanted to look at the Labour Party getting absolutely smashed in the Welsh by-election. So this is in Caerphilly. I think I've said it right. But so let's take a look at the headline. Knives out for Starmer as Labour collapses in Welsh by-election, coming third, not even second, third, behind a surging reform, but PM only wants to talk about digital ID cards. It's almost as if he's bought and paid for opposition, isn't it? So let's take a look at the actual result. Keir Starmer is struggling to quell Labour panic today after suffering by-election disaster in part of Wales that has been red for a century. So think about this. In this place of Caerphilly, they've held this position for over 100 years. That means that no matter what policies that Labour have had in this area, the population have never deviated. A lot of people, and I hate this in the UK, but it's true, they see politics a little bit like football. This is my team and I'm going to stick with them no matter what. The coach can change, the flag can change, the logo can change, the shirts can change, but I need to stick with my guy. That's my team. And so no matter what policies that Labour have had for the longest time, and no matter what they've inflicted on the economy, they've always had support areas where it's just unquestioned. And it's fantastic to see that now Wales, and this particular part of Wales, has now fallen. So it's not even that they've just fallen to second place and a short second place. They've actually fallen right behind into third with next to minimal votes, and we'll explain more in a second. So Plaid Cymru, which is the Nationalist Welsh Party, romped home. They took first place and they took, I think it was 47%. And second place was Reform. So let's take a look at the chart. There it is. So as you can see, 47.4% to the Welsh Nationalist Party, a 36% to Reform, and you should point out that at the last vote, Reform only got 1%, so they've gained ground of now 36%. That's a massive triumph. And if you look there, Labour with a paltry 11%, so that's an absolute wipeout as far as a political voting goes. And Conservatives 2%. This is fantastic news, because what this actually means is that the two-party system, the red versus the blue, the two main parties that, let's be honest, at this point are both bought and paid for, it means that they've been destroyed. The old order has finally been destroyed, because let's be honest, both parties, the red and the blue, Conservatives and Labour, now they've been around for so long, they've been corrupted, they don't have any unique ideas of how to save Britain. They're bought and paid for by special interest groups, and it's easy to see at this point, we're being inundated with wave after wave of mass migration. Our money's been spent abroad on issues that we don't even care about. It's being sent on foreign aid, Ukraine wars, you name it, aid packages everywhere, every which way except the actual British people. And as a result of that, we're watching inflation run rampant, we're watching crime run rampant, we're watching mass immigration unchecked, just absolute rampant, destroying the UK. We're watching the NHS fall, we're watching school places fall, we're watching homes become unaffordable. We can't continue like this, basically. And things are bad when, let's look at this, when even Diane Abbott is tweeting about this, So Diane said, a disastrous result for Labour. On the same day, ministers attack doctors, make housing more unaffordable and press ahead with the unpopular digital ID. Labour is losing support on its left and the leadership does not care. Now, let's contrast this with Keir Starmer himself. So Keir, bearing in mind at this point, he's been humiliated. You had this stronghold for 100 years, and it's now gone. You're not even just dismissed to second place, you're put really right back in third place. Every newspaper is reporting on it. There's talk about an overthrowing you, and let's see where Keir Starmer's head's at. So Keir Starmer, the same day, tweeted this. Let's take a look. I recently spoke with somebody buying a house with a partner. She told me that she had to pay just to verify who she was. With digital ID, that could be done in seconds and wipe out the costs. Digital ID will save you time and money. What an absolute creep this man is. Take a second to think about this in the face of such annihilation. This man still can't read the room. He is so tone deaf that he can't even understand where his party's at and what's going on. To him, this is just a case of let's push on with the globalist agenda of destroying nation states. So the idea is to destroy Britain through unlimited mass migration. Let's give the new arrivals better treatment than the actual British citizens. As a result, we can destroy law and order, we can destroy cities, we can destroy the NHS, we can destroy schools. And he doesn't even care. He doesn't even care that he's about to be wiped out. He doesn't care that his popularity is so low and in the gutter. To the point where now Diane Abbott is now the brains of the outfit. And she's stepping in and going, like, hello, are you listening? Digital ID, nobody cares for it. You're talking about slagging off doctors. You're talking about making home prices even more unaffordable. Like, get with it. When Diane Abbott is the voice of reason for Labour, you are in trouble. And this clown is in absolute trouble. And it couldn't come to a better party. Labour have always been, for the longest time since I was born, they've been a pretend party that pretends to be for the working class, and they've never ever actually represented the working class. They've not done anything productive in my entire life. That's why I've never voted for them. They are an awful party filled with far left radical ideologies, and they've just been moving more and more and more to the left every single time. And it's so great that people now have had enough, that their lifestyles are being affected so much that they're actually now starting to take this out at the polls. So what you're seeing is that chokehold that Labour had over certain areas is now disappearing. In fact, what you'll find, the only place that Labour still have a massive chokehold and unwavering support is actually in the massive migrant areas of London, where most of the people there are illegal anyway, and you know, they want more free stuff. That's like the only strongholds now that Labour hold in certain places. If you were to overlap that with a demographics of the Britain, you would notice that is pretty much the Labour voting pattern. It's people who've just come over, who are getting free stuff, who want even more free stuff. And that's the only people now that seem to want Labour. From what I've seen, all of the working class strongholds, all of the normal people, I've just turned their back on them, which is fantastic to see, because growing up you would never see anybody turn on Labour. It was my party. I was brought up red. We've always been red. They look after us, even though nobody could, when you question people on that, they could never actually talk about what it is that Labour does for them. And that's always astonishing to me, because like I say, I equate that to sort of the football mentality where they're my team no matter what badness they do, I'll always support them. So it's just so good to see that finally British people are starting to wake up. Amen to that. I'm so glad to see it. It's a shame that unfortunately it wasn't reform at the top. I would like to see a reform landslide. I would like to see them smash big chunks of the welfare state. Let's just, for a start, let's stop foreign aid. Let's stop giving our money away, our benefits away to anybody that just turns up. Let's stop giving housing stock away. As a result, let's bring house prices and inflation under control. Let's make it affordable so actual British people like me can afford families and prosper in our own nation. You know, the actual basic dream that you're meant to be pushing for. Let's go back to that. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm so glad that Labour were wiped out today. And I'm so glad it was done in such a humiliating way. Hopefully this destroys the Labour Party. I'd love to see them fall apart, not later, not tomorrow, but I'd like to see them fall apart now and have snap elections. Let's get it underway. Let's not wait 3.5 years until they've completely destroyed the country. Let's try and get it back on track now. But either way, what a fantastic day for British politics. Let's march onwards, and I'm going to stop the video now as there's a helicopter in the sky. They're probably looking for Keir Starmer's personality, but it might interfere with the actual audio. So on that note, guys, I'm going to call it a day there. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave a comment below, and as always, if you like the content and you appreciate what I do, like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.